Hey, what's up, everybody? You are now tuned into T.
And
And it's your girl, Jazzy J.
my Deezer.
And we in the building, y'all. We are so excited because we finally have a good video.
Man, we got a good video, man. We hate being just so negative and bringing so much bad stuff out. We got some goodness right now that came out of some bad stuff.
Man, we have some good news. So the officers and EMTs who participated in the killing of the young man Elijah Mcclain.
Y'all remember Elijah
in
Mcclain?
Aurora, Colorado, have been charged by a grand jury.
Hey now,
man,
that's what we talking about, man.
this is such a huge step, y'all. This is such a big step, and big shout out to Colorado, and big shout out to Vanessa Wilson, who is the Aurora Police Chief.
Aurora Police Chief, man.
New Aurora Police Chief for getting this started.
Yeah.
She made a vow that she is not going to take this. If you didn't know, she actually fired and charged the individuals who put out a post making fun of the chokehold move that killed Elijah Mcclain. She let them go. She said she doesn't have no sympathy, no empathy for anybody doing that.
Bad police officers in her department.
Man, she's been getting them out.
I think she done fired like 14 bad police officers.
Yep, within the last year.
Within the last year,
y'all. So big shout out to her, Vanessa Wilson. We appreciate y'all. And it just goes to show that one person in a position of power that actually wants to change something can do something when given the opportunity.
It can happen.
So we are so happy that they have been charged. They're not sentenced yet, but they have been charged. And they said that this is the first time that officers have ever been charged in this state in the case like this.
I ain't never been prouder to be up here in Colorado.
Man, Colorado doing big things, man. I am so proud of them.
Because this place is messed up, man. There's a whole lot of racism out here.
And they've done a lot of...
She's doing something.
Yeah, there's been a lot of mistakes in the past with the former police chief, but when she came and took over, she was only supposed to be the interim chief for a little bit, and she did so amazing that they hired her on.
She won that position right there.
So she worked for that, and we are so proud of her. So yes, they are being charged, y'all. They are being charged, and the
manslaughter. I think the police officers that put him in the chokehold
and the EMT that gave him the sedative.
They being charged with manslaughter.
Yes.
And it was a guy who resigned early, a whole year ago. You can see him. He thought he was just going, hey, I resigned. I'm good.
Nope, you're getting charged.
Nope. Year later, you going to jail too.
Yeah,
woman.
and if you're not, because I know we live here in Colorado, so we're familiar with this story. If you're not familiar with the story of Elijah Mcclain, this young man was walking home from a store. He had a mask on. He's actually an autistic young man. They stopped him because they thought that he was stealing or something like that. He did not resist at all.
No reason.
So when people say, well, all you have to do is not resist, this young man, he didn't resist. He said, I know you have to do your job. He said, I feel like y'all are beautiful people. Just please don't hurt me. I mean, it was the most, it is a story that will bring you to tears, literally, that they could actually do this to this young man.
The nicest gentleman that you can come across.
Yes,
man.
He was a violinist. He was a massage therapist. He was amazing.
He took care of rabbits. He took care of rabbits.
Yeah, he was an amazing young man. And his mother has been fighting. There's been so many protests. Michael and I, back when we were protesting, this was one of the big reasons that we were out there for. Because this young man, I mean, he just deserves it, and I'm so happy that justice is starting to be served.
Yeah, that's the reason why we did the panels.
Yeah,
the all black panel.
Yeah,
the black and white panel and Native American panel. White people were saying, "What can we do?" We did a panel for them. We did all that stuff, and
thank you to Grandmaster Jay for what you done did, because protesting did do something out here. Yeah. You know what I mean? I will not say that it didn't make any difference at all. It did, but it made a difference because the people in power actually wanted to start changing things. But what Grandmaster Jay does with getting out there and having our people armed and showing them that we ain't gonna take it, that's really bringing change. And they are scared of it.
We on now.
They are scared of it. So we need to keep supporting our brother and keep donating to him, because we need them back out there. We need that presence shown. That pretty much shook up the world, man. Man. So we are so happy, y'all. So please comment down below what you guys think about this. Like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate it. This is a wonderful story. They are charged right now from a grand jury. Thank you so much. That's our dog, y'all. Thank you so much.
Come on, DLG, man.
He just ruining the video.
What up with you, man?
DLG, calm down. So thank y'all.
You sound like you're a big dog, man.
He's little.
Boy, get on over here, man.
Come here. So yeah, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. We appreciate it. And thank y'all for tuning into T. All right, y'all. Peace out. Hey, everybody. We just want to give a big shout out to Attorney General Phil Weiser. Y'all.
That's right.
Him and his team were the ones that decided to prosecute this, so we could not end the video without giving him that shout out. So here's a video for y'all.
He died following a physical encounter with Aurora police officers and Aurora Fire Rescue paramedics the night of August 24th, 2019. In June 2020, by executive order, the governor appointed me to act as the state's prosecutor, investigate, and if the evidence permits, prosecute potential criminal activity by individuals who caused the death of Elijah Mcclain. Our department did not seek this investigation. After we were appointed to take on the important responsibility, we took it very seriously. At the time, I said our investigation would be guided by a commitment to the facts, by thorough and diligent work, and would be worthy of public trust and confidence in our criminal justice system. These remain our guiding principles for this matter. As you know, there was an initial investigation into Mr. Mcclain's death, which was limited. Our department had the option merely to review the record of that effort or undertake additional fact-finding to inquire further into the events surrounding Mr. Mcclain's death. We decided to take the latter course because whenever a person dies after an encounter with law enforcement, the community deserves a thorough investigation. Mr. Mcclain's family deserves it, and justice requires it. As our department conducted its work, it became clear that we needed the grand jury and its enhanced investigative powers to obtain documents and compel testimony from witnesses that would otherwise we'd not be able to obtain using ordinary investigative techniques. Over the last year, our team faced considerable challenges because the statewide grand jury didn't meet for a lengthy period of time on account of the COVID-19 pandemic. In December 2020, we were finally able to engage the statewide grand jury to investigate Mr. Mcclain's death. On January 8th, 2021, my department announced that we had opened this grand jury investigation. That process continued until last Thursday, when the grand jury concluded its work and returned its findings. We are announcing the grand jury's findings made last week today because we needed time to contact Mr. Mcclain's family, his mother, Shanine Mcclain, and father, Luane Mosley, and to contact those under investigation for their actions. At the outset, a few points about the statewide grand jury process bear mention. First, a grand jury is made up of impartial citizens who are called from the community to serve. The grand jury is a core part of our criminal justice system. The citizens who participate in this undertaking take their roles and responsibilities very seriously. Those who serve on the statewide grand jury not only are serious and diligent in their work, but they also invest considerable time and effort to serve the public. They deserve our gratitude for their work. Second, under state law, grand jury activities and materials must be kept confidential. What can be disclosed and what I will share today are the relevant facts and circumstances that we are authorized to share. We recognize that many people, including Mr. Mcclain's family, concerned citizens, members of the media, and others, have had many questions regarding this grand jury process and its activities. Over the course of the process, we had, and we continue to have, a legal and ethical obligation to maintain the confidentiality and integrity of this investigation. We appreciate the public's patience as we conducted and continue to conduct our work. Late last Thursday, after careful and thoughtful deliberation, the grand jury returned a 32-count indictment against Aurora police officers Randy Rodema and Nathan Woodyard, former Aurora police officer Jason Rosenblatt, and Aurora Fire Rescue paramedics Jeremy Cooper and Peter Chikuniak for their alleged conduct on the night of August 24th, 2019, that resulted in the death of Mr. Mcclain. Each of the 5 defendants face 1 count of manslaughter and 1 count of criminally negligent homicide. Officers Rodema and Rosenblatt also face, each of them, a count of second-degree assault with intent to cause bodily injury and caused serious bodily injury to Mr. Mcclain. Both also face 1 count of a crime of violence related to the second-degree assault bodily injury charge. In addition to the manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide charges, paramedics Cooper and Chikuniak also face 1 count second-degree assault with intent to cause bodily injury and caused bodily injury, 1 count second-degree assault for recklessly causing serious bodily injury by means of a deadly weapon, ketamine, 1 count second-degree assault for a purpose other than lawful medical or therapeutic treatment, intentionally causing stupor, unconsciousness, or other physical or mental impairment or injury to Mr. Mcclain by administering a drug, ketamine, without consent. Cooper and Chikuniak also face 2 counts of crimes of violence for each of the assault charges. At this moment, my department is filing the indictment in Adams County District Court. The indictment will be unsealed. It is important to remind everyone that a grand jury indictment is a formal accusation based on a determination of probable cause that an individual committed a crime under Colorado law. All defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Our department has the solemn duty to prosecute this case. Make no mistake, we recognize that this case will be difficult to prosecute. These types of cases always are. Our goal is to seek justice for Elijah Mcclain, for his family and friends, and for our state. In so doing, we advance the rule of law and the commitment that everyone is accountable and equal under the law. Many of you will have questions as this case proceeds. We understand that, and we want you to understand that we are limited in what we can say and will do our talking in court. We thank you in advance for your patience as this case goes forward. I want to thank the statewide grand jury for their service. I want to thank our team, our prosecutors, our investigators, and all staff members who worked hard on this case for over a year and will continue to do so. We're here today because Elijah Mcclain is not here, and he should be. He was a son, a nephew, a brother, and a friend. When he died, he was only 23 years old. He had his whole life ahead of him. And his family and his friends must now go on and live without him. His death is a loss to all of us. Elijah Mcclain's memory will live on as a blessing to all of us. After his death, Colorado continues to lead on law enforcement accountability. And in a separate civil investigation, my department is looking into whether the city of Aurora, specifically Aurora Fire and Aurora Police, have a pattern and practice of violating the civil rights of their community members. That matter is still ongoing, We will announce our findings when that investigation comes to a close. By working to build trust in law enforcement and working to elevate what safe and effective policing looks like, we will advance public safety, and we will honor the profession's commitment to serve all Coloradans fairly and responsibly. Thank you.
All right, so there you have it. The grand jury returning a 32-count indictment against 3 Aurora police officers and 2 firefighters as well. Each of those 5 facing 1 count of manslaughter and 1 count of criminally negligent homicide. So obviously a significant return there from the grand jury. So this, by the way, was returned last Thursday by the grand jury, and according to who we just heard from a second ago, Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser, he wanted to get that out to Mr. Mcclain's family. And a quote here from Attorney General Phil Weiser saying, quote, "Mr. Mcclain's family deserves it. Justice requires it." He did also acknowledge that this will be difficult to prosecute. So again, a 32-count indictment returned against those 3 Aurora police officers and 2 firefighters in association with the death of Elijah Mcclain in August of 2019. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News and on